Hello, this is Crystal with Stitching in the Green Mountains. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Here's where I talk about my cross-stitch projects and some quilting projects, as well as knitting and whatever other crafty things I've been up to. So welcome. I know I have a lot of new subscribers since my last video, and I want to thank Christine at Mountain Craft Studio. I think she gave me a shout out, and I saw a lot of people subscribing after that, so thank you, Christine. That was great. And welcome. So if this is your first time joining me, thank you, and I hope you come back. If you haven't subscribed and you like what you see, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a note. I appreciate that. So I am a little bit about myself, since many of you are new. I live in Vermont, in the Green Mountains, which is hence the name, Stitching in the Green Mountains. And my husband and I have 3 sons. The oldest is married and lives, on his own, obviously. And then he is in the Vermont National Guards, so he's in the military. And then my middle son is 19. He lives here at home. Graduated high school last June, and he is planning to go to linesman school this summer, and so that's his plan. And then my youngest son is a junior in high school, and he is doing the culinary program at the Central Vermont Career Center. So we have a busy house. And yeah, a couple of the things I'll show you today are, well, one is for my son. So I'm going to start with my cross stitch, and then at the end I'll share a couple of quilting items, projects that I've been working on, and yeah. Is there anything else I want to share about myself before we jump into cross stitch? Yeah, so I've said my husband and I, we have the 3 boys. We live in Vermont. I told you a little bit about my kids, and we have Vishla, Gus, our dog. He's sitting across the room in the chair, kind of staring out the window. It is a very snowy day here, so it's quite beautiful outside. It's in the low 20s, so it's not bad. Might actually get out for a little walk later. And let's see what else. So I've got Gus, our Vishla, and then we have 6 Pekin ducks that grace our yard, and they're just fun. And then I have silver fox rabbits. So I think, I'm not sure how many there are. A couple of males and maybe 4 females, I think. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, anyways, they're really pretty. Oh, and there's one champagne rabbit too, and she's really pretty as well. So we have as I said, we have a busy house. So enough about that. Let me jump into the cross stitch. I was excited. I had said in my last video that I was hoping to finish this particular piece in January, and I did. It is a small finish. This is the flowers of the month, the January block. So it has 12, 1 flower each month, and I've started this January block back in August. Put it in timeout for a little while because I had made a mistake. There is quite a bit of confetti for this 4-inch size project. A lot of confetti stitching, so it was in timeout for a little while, so that's why it took me this long to complete it, but it is now done. So here is January, and that is the carnations. So I think it's beautiful. I was very excited to have that one done. And you can see I started the block for February. I have a little bit more of this inside border to do. I have this, well, I've only done one side. I need to do the other 3 sides, and then I can begin stitching. And February is violets. So I have pulled all my floss for February. This is, it's all DMC. So as you can see, by this, I'm going to take out the border colors so you can see these are all the colors for February. So in this little 4-inch block, we have all these shades of kind of violet blues, and then we have a whole bunch of greens, and then some yellow and orange. So that will be interesting to see how these yellow and orange pop in this little block. So I am hoping to start that, the flower stitching on the 1st of February. So that's next Monday. I'm hoping to do that. I know Monday, not Monday, excuse me, it's Tuesday. I know I have a really busy work day on Tuesday the 1st, so I'm hoping that I'm not too tired when I finish up work, that I can still do some stitching that night. Oh, okay, so I'm looking at the chart and it looks like the orange and yellow, it looks like maybe there's 4 stitches of yellow and 3 stitches of orange. So very little for those skeins, but lots and lots of blues, color changing in there, so that will be pretty. I'm excited to get started on it. So that's going to be here. So it's kind of a little mini finish. I know I have a couple of errors down in this area and 1 extra stitch right up here on that stem. I was working on this during the evening, and the greens, I think there were 4 different shades of green in there, and it was difficult to tell which color I was which color I had stitched and what was where. So I was getting a little bit confused on my chart, and then I made an extra stitch on the stem, and I decided it was okay. I wasn't going to tear out the rest of the stitches, and it looked all right. So I'm happy with it. So January is done. And then hopefully February doesn't take me as long as January did. So that is, as I mentioned, I'm stitching that with DMC floss. This fabric is an even weave, Monaco. Let me just double check my notes here. Fabric used 28 count even weave Lugana Monaco antique white was what the tag said. So that's antique white. It's kind of a yellowish hue to it, but I still like it. So that was my mini finish. The other project that I have spent time on this month, and I've shown this in the past a couple of times, and this is the Prairie Schooler Santa's House 2010 limited edition. That is the photo. And I am doing this as a stitch along with my sister. She picked out the chart, and we are stitching this together. We started in November, and I know I shared last time that she didn't like this fabric, so we paused while she was finding a different fabric, and once she did, it was mid-December when we could actually get back to it, and I didn't want to get too far ahead of her, so I didn't work on it while she was searching for new fabric. So once she told me she had a fabric and she was happy with it and we could move forward, I was excited. So I spent more time on this piece this month. And here's where I'm at. I think it's stitching up really nice. I like it better than I thought I would. I'm gonna put 2022 on this tree, so I kind of have to figure out how to do 2 of the 2s in the tree over here. Take my time with that. I've decided I need to do that during the daytime. A lot of times I stitched on this in the morning early because I actually didn't have any issues stitching on this even weave fabric. I kind of liked it. And I could stitch on it early in the morning. I think I shared before that my husband leaves around 5 in the morning, so I have my coffee and stitch for about an hour before I have to get ready for work. So that is coming along. Looks like I still need to do across here, finish out that window. Yeah, put in this tree. I've got these little, there's a few more little like star things here on each side. There's 3 of them. Put in the other deer. Yeah, I am a ways ahead of my sister, so thought I should try to slow it down just a little bit. Although this was my, in my monthly challenge, each month I have a list of all the challenges I want to set up for myself, and I roll the dice and then see which number it lands on that corresponds. So it's not really like it's kind of like WIPCO, but not really. Kind of a different format. With rolling the dice, you could potentially get the same, number more than once throughout the year. So there's some flexibility in what I set for challenges for myself. So this was to work 4 hours on a project with a deer. So I chose this one because it was just after the holidays and I was still in the mood for some holiday stitching. I was worried that I might lose the desire to stitch on holiday, which is kind of happening. So I put my 4 hours in early this month, and then I actually haven't done anything on this over the last week. Yeah, over the last week I haven't put any stitches into this. I've just picked up other pieces, but I had 2. I chose this one. I had 2 projects with deer. So I have Teresa Kogut's Strutton, which is adorable as well. But since I'm doing this as a stitch along, I tried to keep my momentum on this one, and it's pretty close. I might push for a finish here in February, but we'll see. I'll have to check in with my sister and see where she's at. So I don't want to finish it too fast and then have her lose momentum. So trying to finish it around the same time. So that was Santa's house, and so I met my challenge. My 4 hours wasn't too difficult, and I was able to do that pretty easily and still keep working on other projects that I wanted to. I'm sorry, I keep looking away because all my stuff is stacked here on the couch next to me, so I'm sorry if that's bothersome. I apologize. My next project that I spent time on is a little bit more time-sensitive project, and that's only by my guidelines. And this is this one here. It's called Our Anniversary by Sampler Cove. Let's see if you can get a nice shot of that. Yeah. So this one I am stitching to commemorate my husband's and my 25th wedding anniversary, which is coming up later this year in August. So so I'd like to have it completed, fully finished for our anniversary. So that means I need to have all the stitching done probably around June. So let me show you where I'm at. Let's see if I can get that back. There we go. Fold that so maybe you can see. It's a really light fabric. There we go. So that's where I'm at. I think last time I shared this, I had just done these top little motifs and I had come across and maybe started down around the edges, but I've put in all of these big floral motifs, the scallops here on the top of this little inner border. This is the third color of silk of these little square boxes down here. So I got to open up the third little color spool of red silk. I'm using Victoria Clayton silk, which is the called for this chart. And I am stitching this on, it's Winter's Moon. Let me just get the exact name. So it's a 36 count Zweigart Winter Moon Edinburgh linen. And I started this on November 23rd. And now that today is January 29th. It's Friday, January 29th. And so here's where I'm at. So I need to make sure I keep this one front and center and keep working on this every single week. Yeah, but I think it's beautiful. So anyways, that's where that one is, and I'm really enjoying it. I did find right here in this floral motif, I didn't leave enough of a tail. I tucked it, behind when I stitched it, but just handling the fabric, I'm stitching it in hand, so just handling the fabric, it caused it to work loose, and I had to frog it back a ways and then restitch. There might be one other motif across the top that I need to do that with. So it's the silk floss. This is the first time I've worked with silk, and it's very slippery. So maybe that just means I need to tuck in longer tails for the silk than I'm used to with cotton. But it's a learning process, and so far I'm having a lot of fun with it. So that was our anniversary. And the next piece is a stitch along that I am doing with Christine at Mountain Craft Studio. And that is Quaker handwork. And that's what that one looks like. I have admired this one for quite a while, and this was my New Year, New Start. So I started on January 1st. This is designed by Brenda Gervais. And let's see here. This one is being stitched on 32 count summer khaki Belfast linen, which is what Zweigart. I'm going to fold this here so you see they have a lot of light, so it shines through the fabric. So that's where I'm at. I have posted my progress on this one on Instagram a couple of times. We have a couple of hashtags for this. There's one that I had found that already existed, and that was Quaker Handwork Sal, S-A-L. And then Christine, I believe, set up a new hashtag on Instagram, which was Quaker Handwork Sal 22. I believe that's what they are. Yeah, I was just looking to see if I had it written down. I do, but so that's where I'm at. And this is being stitched two strands of floss over 2 strands of linen. The silk that I just showed you is 1 strand of silk over 2 strands of floss, but, one strand of silk over 2 threads of linen. But the others that I've shared are 2 strands of floss over 2 strands of linen. There we go. So I've outlined the basket. I was waiting for a floss color. I know I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I had ordered that on the 31st of December and I hadn't received it, so I needed to check on that. And I checked on it last week. I had ordered it from a company that I had not purchased from before. It was Stitchery Express. So let me show you Stitchery Express. They're in Utah. So this floss color, I couldn't find it. I'd searched for it for a few months as I was collecting the floss for this chart, and it kept showing as out of stock everywhere. And then finally, on the 31st of December, I did another Google search and I came up with this store and they had it in stock. So I ordered 2 skeins of it. And this is a harvest basket. And actually, even in this, even the 2 skeins, there is quite a color difference. This one definitely has a lot more like yellow gold tone to it, and this one is a little bit more light, lighter, a little creamier. So I'll have to see which one I like better with the fabric. But yeah, so those came in. I called the shop to check on the order, and she looked it up and she said, oh, okay, yes, we have that shipped on January 3rd. And she's like, but there's something funny on the tracking information. It was still showing that the postal company was waiting for it, and it had been a couple of weeks already. So she, that day, replaced the order for me, and in the package, she sent along a little note with the apologies, and she included these little scissors for me. So they are so cute, just little birds. So yeah, a new little pair of scissors. That was nice. It certainly wasn't their fault that the postage, that the package was lost in the mail, but they did immediately sent it out, and I had it within just a few days. So I was impressed. So if you are looking for a hard to find floss, it might be worth checking out, a small business such as this. And this was Stitchery Express in Utah. So that was great. I was very pleased with that. So now I have the the floss that I needed, so I can finish that basket. Just get myself a little bit more organized here so I don't lose anything after the video. It's kind of crazy how afterwards you have this pile and things get mixed up. When you start out, you think they're all organized, but by the end, they're not. So that's where I have spent my time on those few projects: the Quaker handwork, the our anniversary, and Santa's house, and the flower of the month. So I've had 4 projects over the last 2 weeks that I have spent time on and accomplished a little mini finish. Excited to get ready for the next block on that one, which I plan to start on the 1st of February. And the rest of my plans for February are to keep working on our anniversary, as I had mentioned earlier. I also rolled the dice to see which challenge I would have for February, and I rolled a 7, and a 7 coordinates with working 8 hours on Gather Here, which is one of my current WIPs. So I've just pulled that out to share with you so I can show you where I'm at. First show you, my chart has been beaten up. It's rough shape. So that is Gather Here. It is a pattern by Hello from Liz Matthew. I think it's gorgeous. So, what did I say? 8 hours. Yep, 8 hours for the month of February on this chart. I'm stitching this with a DMC, and that is the called for, well, the DMC conversion that's listed on the chart, and that is colors 3799, which is really beautiful. So let me show you what I've got here. This fabric is 36 count vintage country mocha, Edinburgh linen. There we go. And here's where I currently am at. So I've got a nice section of the bird, the head, the chest, this kind of the wings, the legs going down there at the bottom. So that's where I'm going to pick up. It looks like I was stitching this in a hoop. I may, because this is a really soft linen, so I may stitch this. I may stitch it in a hoop again. I know I've been, I know one of my fabrics, I had a really hard time getting the hoop marks out of it, you know, and I was careful not to leave the fabric in the hoop. So I've been trying to go and do more stitching in hand. So I've been doing that more recently. But I think this is so cute. And it's a long piece. You can see my fabric is quite large. So it's all those words that will be at the bottom. So 8 hours, excuse me, will be in February on this. So that is one of my plans. Let's stack that up over here. And then my other plan for stitching is to complete this little project. And let's see if I can tell when I started this one. I think, well, actually I know it was in October. And it's just kind of a quick little kind of filler project. It's easy, but I haven't spent too much time on it. It's a Lizzie Kate, Forgive Quickly, Kiss Slowly is what it says. The chart is called Forgive Quickly, which I think is beautiful, and these reds, as Valentine's is coming up, so I think this would be a really nice piece to have finished before Valentine's. We'll see. That's where I am. So you can see that. So pretty close. It really won't take much time. Yeah. I don't know what this fabric is. It was a scrap piece of fabric that when I had a local needle workshop in my area, I had made some purchases, and she had this as an extra remnant piece, and she just tossed it in with my purchase. So as a remnant, I'm trying to decide. I probably won't finish this one. I'll finish stitching, but I won't fully finish it right away. I'm thinking I might like to try this as a little pillow. I had originally thought I would frame it and have it hung in my entryway next to my I Simply Love You piece that's hung there, but I might do this as a little pillow. I'd asked my husband if he would make me a dough bowl. So that is on our list as a little project for this year, 2022. We're waiting for the tool parts to come in to do the concave on the bowl. since we've got the wood waiting. My husband cut a lot of really nice wood this last summer. Some cherry and beech and maple. So he has some logs that he can choose from and give it a try. So since I don't have any pillows to put in a dough bowl, this could be a fun one to finish first. But it will be a little while longer before I have my dough bowl. So I'm not stressing too much over it. So that is also on my February plans. So February, I think I mentioned last time, I like the concept of focused February, and I have been torn on various stitching projects and how do I want to focus on them. I know this Forgive Quickly piece I can finish in a short amount of time, so that will be a focus. But I also have my monthly challenge for 7 hours. And I know it will I keep saying 7 hours, it's 8 hours. But I know that the Gather Here piece will definitely take me more than 8 hours. So I don't know if I just take them each week, focus on a different project. I haven't quite decided how I want to break that up. But in my next video, I will tell you what I've decided. We'll see what works. So I think that's just, well, that's 4 things that I want to work on. I have the Quaker Handwork Sal, the Forgive Quickly, the Hour Anniversary, and the Flower of the Month. Oh, and there was one other one I wanted to start in February. I was thinking about it. I'm not sure, but I'll show you that here in a moment. I had a few other things come in. I showed you the floss that came in that I had been waiting for, searching for, and finally found, and then had waited patiently for. So that came in, and I got the extra bonus little scissors for being so patient, I guess, which was a nice little surprise. And I don't think I have shown this pattern. I purchased this on Etsy right at the tail end of December. And this is, I'll show you the picture here. It's Lovely Birds, sampler Lovely Birds. So it has all these Quaker motifs and all these birds in between. You see the owl and swallows and a raven and not sure what is, like a pigeon. And there's a little duck over there. So all these different birds are in here. I think it's just gorgeous. And this was shown as a monochromatic piece. Yeah, because I showed it in various different colors when I saw it online. Trying to find the name. Okay, so it's copyright by Happy Mood Point 2021. So it says SS037 sampler Lovely Birds. So that was here. Show that to you again. And then just at the bottom here, it has Happy Mood Point 2021 copyright. So that I purchased from Etsy. And that would be fun to work in at some point this year. Not sure when. It's not on my near list, but it is there as an option. So I did place an order. I was trying really hard not to purchase anything in January, but I did. I placed one order with 123 Stitch, and I purchased this chart by La Di Da, Love Spoken Here. And it's just a beautiful, simple chart. I like that border. I guess I'm really drawn to the blues in that design. I really like it. Love spoken here. So hopefully there's not too much glare. By La-Di-Da. I am really thinking this may be a birthday start for me, which is in May. So I'm kind of, that's my thought with this one. And it's a small piece too, so it's not a big one. I'm trying not to start big projects. With that said, I do have one that might be. I'm not entirely sure how it'll work out. But anyways, I'll show you that in a moment. The other chart that I purchased along with that is another Prairie Schooler Santa to go along with my collection. That's the 2007 Santa. I like that with the knitting because I am also a knitter. I thought that was really cute and appropriate. So I just added that to my collection. So that one came in, and then this was the chart that I really wanted to order, and I keep seeing this pop up on other people's Flosstubes, and this is My Token of Love, and I think that that is gorgeous. So, as I said, I'm trying not to start big projects. I don't know that this is a very large project. I think it's just sort of a medium, kind of a mid-range size. So I don't think I'd call it a large one, but it's not small either. So I purchased this, and I did purchase the floss for it. I don't have fabric yet. I'm just kind of looking through what I have to see if anything pops out and strikes me as being the right fabric, but I'm not sure yet. I purchased the DMC 115, which is the gorgeous red variegated floss. I am excited to work with this one. I think it's just beautiful. You can see that variegation right here, how there's light and dark. So I ordered those to go with My Token of Love. And this is designed by Karen Kluba for Rosewood Manor. So I like that. So that's on my list for this year. And then so those were my purchase charts. This last chart that I'm going to share with you, I have not shown it yet, and this is going to be in addition to my Prairie Schooler Santa chart collection. I didn't purchase this one. I actually won this from Annie, the Proper Stitcher, in one of her giveaways. And this is the one here. So what is that? 1997, 1998, and 2013. And so I showed all these designs to my husband because this year I want to do another Santa this year, and I showed all my Prairie Schooler Santas that I currently have, all the charts, to my husband, let him pick out one, and he picked this one, the Santa with all the clocks. And yeah, he says world map here under his arm, and then he has the paper that says December 24th timeline kind of showing down here. So this will be the Prairie Schooler Santa that I stitch next. And this was I was so excited when I heard Annie call my name for winning this. So this was I've added that to my Prairie Schooler collection as well, and we'll be stitching that Santa. And I think I'll start that one in July. So I don't think I'll be stitching a Santa before then. So, but I like them so much. I do want to pull them out, stitch on them, and they're not a difficult stitch. So, and makes it kind of very relaxing. Whereas my hour anniversaries is, I've had to be really careful about my counting on all the intricate details in the border. So that was all my cross stitch. My whips, my mini finish, my plans, and my sort of haul. Not so much haul, but anyways, last weekend, I'll move into quilting now. So if you're not interested, thank you for joining me this far, and hope to see you again. But if you do want to stay for quilting, I'm happy to show you. Last weekend, I took all three, for me, I have a 3-day weekend. I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I took all 3 days and I sewed. So I have shown this in the past as individual blocks, but I decided I was going to, my goal for January was to finish all the blocks for this particular quilt for my son. This was supposed to be his graduation gift, and he's kind of hinted around in the last month or so. He said, Mom, when am I going to get my quilt for graduation? Like, oh yeah, I need to get that done. So my goal was to finish the blocks. So I finished the blocks a couple of weeks ago. Those were done. But then I decided I would actually put them together. That was on my to-do list for February. That was kind of how I broke it down, but I got it done early. So let me stand up and share this with you. Give me just a minute here. So this, right, there we go. So this is his quilt. I don't think I'll be able to show all of it, but you can kind of see, let me stand back here. You can see the design. Right now this is 84 inches wide, so each block is a 12-inch finish, and there are 7 blocks wide and 7 blocks long. So it's this little chain design running between the stars, and the stars are all fussy cut with these animals, this kind of wildlife, which kind of look like watercolor. So we've got 4 different animals. We've got a moose, and which one's next here? Some kind of a deer. I don't know if you call that a red, I don't know, red deer? I'm not sure. Some kind of deer. And I know it's not a whitetail. There's another deer. Did pretty well getting these all spaced apart, but oh, there's another moose. Oh, here we go. A bear. And there is a wolf in here. I can find, yeah, right here on this top. There we go. And then there's the wolf. So, yeah, it's a, you know, simple design. I didn't use any kind of pattern. I just, you know, did a sawtooth star block, and then I did this other block, just 4-inch finish, so 4-patch offset with a single block, darker one in the center. Yeah, not complicated. Which this was my hang up, because this block was so simple. I actually got bored with it, and so then I didn't want to work on it. So that is all put together. I'm thinking about putting this. Yeah, these greens have like a kind of a watercolor tree effect to them, and they're all going in the right direction, so they're not upside down. The bigger blocks, anyways. Like all those loose threads. So I'm thinking about putting a narrow, this greeny color, just a real thin, narrow border on it. I have a binding fabric, which is a complementary fabric to, in this line, complements these. It looks more like trees. So I'm going to use that for binding. I'm going to have it machine quilted. So I'm I wanted to show you all before I had it put together for the quilter and sent off. So that took my time last weekend on Friday, and sorry, I'm sure that was noisy. I apologize for that. So Friday and Saturday, and I was very happy to get that all put together. My son actually came home from work early because it was cold, and he's working for my brother. It's a masonry company, so the temperatures were too cold. They couldn't continue working. So he got out early, he came home, saw that I was working on his quilt, and he was very excited about that. So I was glad for that. I guess that's what kept me motivated to finish putting it all together on Saturday. So that one, and then on Sunday, I put together this other little project. It's not quite done, but this weekend I'll finish it up. It's another small quilt. It is a baby quilt, and it is an Irish chain, single Irish chain. I'll stand up for this one. So my neighbor, they're having their first child in March. She is a graduate from Syracuse University, so I liked all these bright oranges. I think she has a bright orange wall in her house. Well, she does. I have a green fabric that I'm gonna use as a border. I'm actually gonna do a Seminole border, and let me show you. I pulled out this quilt book that I've had I'm all covered with threads. Goodness. Irish Chain in a Day. This book is by Eleanor Burns. I purchased it back in the 90s, and you can see the price tag on the back is $7.95. So I can tell you it's been around a long time. I've made quite a few of these Irish chain quilts. So this was easy. And that's what I'm going to do for the border, is this Seminole border. I think that's how I pronounce that. I haven't done this in a long time, so I didn't want to rush through it on Sunday last week. I thought I'd wait and give myself a fresh start this weekend to get the border put on. So that will have a darker green tone as where these blue bands are, the blue borders, and then it will be the white, and then this floral motif will be on point in here. So that was not on my plan at all. So it was an extra project squeezed in there. But that is for the baby shower later in February. So I'll finish that up this weekend and have that ready. So there's a couple of my quilting projects that I wanted to share with you. So two of those, I continue to hand stitch the binding down on the on my other scrappy Irish chain quilt. And that's just, I shared that last time, my last video. So once I get the binding all stitched on, I'll show you that in full. I'll pull that out. Well, it's right here. I'm looking at it. Give me just a minute. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I'm still stitching the binding down, but there we go. So this one, it's all scrap fabrics. It's a twin size quilt. Hand quilted. This one's quilted by hand, which took a long time. Took years. So I will be very thrilled when I get this one step closer. I was hoping have this on. What was my goal? Actually, maybe my goal was to, no, my goal was to get the binding on in January and then quilt the border in February, but that's not happening. So we'll continue working on stitching the binding. Yeah, so there is all my quilting and my cross stitch. I think that's everything. So I hope you all enjoyed seeing what I've been working on these last couple of weeks. If you have any questions, let me know. Oh, you can see on the table here behind me, there's a little pile of fabric, and that is new fabric I just purchased for a pillow project. I got some pillow forms, and I'm going to do a set of pillows. So yeah, I'm not gonna do that yet. That's kind of on the back burner. I'm gonna finish up the baby quilt, get the quilt for my son ready to go off to the quilters. I've got to decide on that border, if I'm going to put the little green border on it or not. I'll have to audition that fabric. I'll just have to lay it out and audition it and just to decide. But it's already 84 inches wide, so it's big. I don't know, queen size probably. It would very comfortably fit on a queen size bed. So yeah, so that's everything. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to be back in a couple of weeks to give you an update on where I'm at. Again, as I said, if you have any questions, leave me a note, send me an email. I'll put my email in the drop-down box below. And I hope everybody has a good 2 weeks. Everybody stays well, stays warm. Yeah, so take care, everyone. Bye.